Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir. Sir,
good
start
morning.
பண்ணிடலாமாங்க sir?
Start பண்ணிடலாம்.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய காலை வணக்கம். ஒருமைக்கண் தான் கற்ற கல்வி ஒருவர்க்கு எழுமையும் ஏமா புடைத்து. நாம் கற்ற கல்வி வாழ்வில் துன்பம் நேரும் போதெல்லாம் நமக்கு துணை செய்யும் என்ற எண்ணத்தோடு இந்த நிகழ்வினை கலந்து பயனுற அனைவரையும் பணித்து வாழ்த்துகிறேன். நிகழ்வின் தொடக்கமாக வரவேற்புரை வழங்க வைஸ் பிரின்சிபல் அகாடமிக்ஸ் டாக்டர் அனிதா அவர்களை அன்புடன் வேண்டுகிறேன்.
Thank you, madam. Very good morning to our respected chairman, correspondent, secretary, principal, dean, directors, heads of various departments, loving teachers, my dear students and parents. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to all of you today at this memorable event of Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. On behalf of the entire institution, I am so much delighted to welcome our today's guest, Dr. M. Daniel Sir, CEO, Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, who is going to talk about the essence of collegiate education in the present day context. Dr. M. Daniel Sir has more than 35 years experience in academic, research, and administration. Now he is working towards connecting young minds to strive towards success and achievement. We are grateful to him for accepting our invitation and becoming a resource person of today's event. Thank you, sir.
It's my pleasure.
I would like to welcome all teachers, parents who are an important part of this college. Finally, I am so happy to welcome all the first-year students to our college. Dear students, herewith we ensure that we will do everything possible to equip you with the best possible teaching resources, practical exposure and training methods so that you are able to form up your life and career for a challenging world out there. Additionally, we endure to inculcate social values and principles of personal excellence and care for others. I'm certain that you would find these 3 years the most inspiring years of your life. I hereby wish you all the very happy and academically rewarding journey ahead and outstanding stay in the college. Before the program starts, I would like to welcome all the members who have always supported us in spreading the light of knowledge. Thank you. Have a nice day. Try to be socially responsible always.
Thank you, ma'am. இன்றைய சிறப்பு விருந்தினரை அறிமுகப்படுத்த ஆங்கில துறை தலைவர் முனைவர் திவ்யா அவர்களை அன்புடன் வேண்டுகிறேன்.
Pleasant to one and all present here. May today bring you the joys of yesterday's hope. I would like to introduce the chief guest for today, Dr. M. Daniel Sir. Dr. S.N.S. Arcas completed the doctoral degree in theoretical physics at Madras University in 1983. Started his career as assistant professor in Department of Physics at Bishop Heber College. Head of the Department of Physics, Center for Nonlinear Dynamics, Bharathidasan University, 2006 to 2013. Chair, School of Physics, Bharathidasan University, 2008 to 2015. Member Syndicate, Bharathidasan University, 2014 to 2015. Discharged duties of Vice Chancellor of Bharathidasan University during 2014-15. Represented Bharathidasan University in the absence of Vice Chancellor at India's Vice Chancellor's Conference held at Bhubaneswar during 2014. Chief Executive Officer at Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, affiliated to Bharathiar University from 2016 till date. Sir, Director in Internal Quality Assurance Cell, 2010 to 2015, University, Informatics at Bharathidasan University, and Quality and Project in SNS Group of Institutions. Served as a coordinator and convener and steering committee for academics and administration audit at Bharathidasan University, 2009 to 2011, steering committee for preparation of SSR report, Bharathidasan University, for reaccreditation by NAC during 2009 to 2011. Steering Committee for NAC Peer Team Visit to Bharathidasan University during NAC Visit 2012 and Nodal Officer for conducting UGC NET examination 2013. Yes. Served as a Senate member at Bharathidasan University, member in Research Advisory Committee, member in Governing Body Council of Autonomous Colleges 2006 till date. Contributed design and development of curriculum under choice-based credit systems in different institutions. Sir has nearly 35 years of experience in teaching at university level, organized n number of UGC-sponsored seminars and international conference at Bharathidasan University, guided 12 PhDs and 22 MPhil scholars, and visited various countries for collaborative research and giving lectures. The countries are USA, UK, Germany, France, and whatnot, Italy, Denmark, Netherlands, Australia, China, Taiwan, and Jordan. Published 95 papers in referred international journals and 22 international proceedings, 3 books, and 1,103 citations in Scopus and 20 H-index Scopus and whatnot. Humbled to hand over the session to most renowned person, Dr. M. Daniel, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Divya, for a nice word of introduction about me. Good morning to everyone. So, my dear student friends and children who has been admitted to the SNS family very recently. So, it would have been a time of pleasure for you as well as on my part to have an opportunity to interact with you through online in the induction program. So though I very much desire to have an interaction program or an interaction with you through this induction program, physically in the classroom, in the institution, unfortunately, the pandemic situation has not made it possible. Like me, you are also very anxious to have an occasion to visit the campus or to stay in the campus for your study and to have physical interaction with the teachers here, to make connection with your friends and to learn everything with emotional bond with the teachers by sitting in the classroom. Let's all wish the best to have a very conducive atmosphere to have this kind of campus life at the very earliest. So it is now almost 2 days since we started the Freshers Meet, again connected through online. And probably that was the first time we had an opportunity to connect with you. Now 2 days have gone. Probably all of you must have been so excited, the students and their family, for getting an opportunity to connect through online, through a very specific program related to the curricular study in the campus, namely the induction program. So the previous occasions where you had an opportunity to visit the campus would have been along 2 different dimensions, in my opinion. One is before your admission, you would have visited the college website, you would have looked into the various things which you had shown interest. And also, most of you would have opportunity to visit the campus when you were pitching your admission in the college for your program of study. In my opinion, these are the 2 major occasions wherein you had an opportunity to have a glimpse of a very good ambience institution with a good infrastructure, having a very greenery background, with all facilities, either virtually through the website or physically and personally when you visited the campus. Probably from that moment, you would have been very anxious and very excited to come and have your study program in the campus so that you can have a very enjoyable campus life by connecting with the teachers and connecting or making new friends and connecting with them continuously to have a better social life and to enjoy all the facilities which are available so in the campus, which will promote your personal life, your social life, and your academic life. I mean, when I was introduced, I was introduced as a physics teacher or physics researcher. But don't be afraid, I'm not going to talk any physics to you. I'm not going to teach you like a physics teacher. I'm going to talk something very general related to the education what you had earlier and the education what you are going to have hereafter, and how exciting the new kind of education what you are going to have. So today, I mean, this program, induction program, what we call, is not your regular curricular study program. Because the purpose of having this induction program is, as suggested by the University Grants Commission, is to make yourself familiar with the institution, the program you study in the college, and the courses you will be attending for your study, and the course teachers you will be meeting, the type of evaluation and examination you will be having, the type of facilities which are available in the campus, and the type of support you will be getting for your promotion or progressions. To know about all these things or to have an idea about the institution and your and all the things that are available in the campus for your well-being in terms of academics, the purpose of having this meeting is the same, or the induction program is the same as decided by the University Grants Commission. We'll not stop there. We'll have one more type of very generic program like a bridge course. The purpose of that bridge course will be to bridge the gap what you have between the curriculum of your school education and the curriculum of collegiate education. Of course, this institution has taken tremendous efforts to make the bridge very smooth by connecting the curriculum very well. So our curriculum is framed, or your curriculum is framed such that there is a very good connectivity between what you studied in the school education and what you are going to study in the collegiate education. But unfortunately, some of the rules will permit, even though you have not studied certain courses in the school education, still you will be permitted to attend study programs in the collegiate education without that fundamental knowledge. So it is the responsibility of the institution in this context to make you feel comfortable by having a good basics and foundation. So in that course or in that discipline or in that subject also. That is why in different disciplines, the very essential disciplines like mathematics, accounts, then English, those who have studied in Tamil medium, it will be beneficial for them. Then management program and accounts. So all these different courses, so we have organized for giving you as a bridge connecting your school education and the college education. A well-defined curriculum is structured or framed by identifying the gap between the two education, so that you will feel comfortable when you complete that bridge course. In fact, we'll first test your level where you are before this bridge course and where you are after completing this bridge course, to make ourselves get a satisfaction that yes, we have fulfilled your requirement completely. The bridge is the gap is bridged, and you will have a very comfortable situation for learning when you come to the classroom in the college. So you should remember, you come from school education. We are inducting you, or we are making on board to the collegiate education first through this induction program. Then we try to fill up the gap between your school education and the collegiate education, or the school curriculum and college curriculum, so that we onboard you very, very smoothly into the classroom in the college, where you are going to study at Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. So that is the purpose of making this learning process or teaching process for in the case of teachers very smoothly, so that both the teachers and the students feel very comfortable when they start their learning process in the first year of their undergraduate study. So with this in mind, today I have appointed my topic to sensitize you by choosing a topic of essence of collegiate education in the present day context. From the title itself, we could understand that collegiate education or higher education or tertiary education, whatever you call, it changes quite often. It is very dynamic. That is why I fixed the title as present day context. We cannot have the same kind of collegiate education or higher education or tertiary education for a quite long time, because it is highly evolving, for the simple reason that higher education is global, higher education is universal. Unlike school education, higher education is universal and global. So we have to run along the trend of the international situation, and we have to reform our educational system quite often so that we run the race very competitively at the global level or international level. So that is why I choose the topic as present day context. Well, so the plan of my small interaction during this first session will have 5 different small classifications or divisions. To make you connect very smoothly with the collegiate education, first I will refresh what you had in the school education system. And then I will try to tell you what is the real collegiate education system. And then I will specifically tell you what is the kind of education we have at Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. Then I will try to, ask you some questions, or I will try to know from you what would you expect from us, from the institution, from the teachers, from the management, from other stakeholders. And then finally, I will address what do we expect from you? What would we expect from you at the end of the day when you complete your program? So this is the plan I have to share some of my thoughts to sensitize you on this topic which I have chosen. To address the school education system correctly is to say that school education system is a highly rigid system. So school education is offered under a strictly structured framework. It is offered well within certain well-defined boundaries. In the school education, when you study, you always follow strictly the textbook which has been prescribed to you or which has been given to you by the school. You cannot deviate from the textbook for your study program. And you cannot cross the boundary what is defined as a framework for your school education study. Similarly, examination and evaluation are also very well defined, and it is structured, and it is based on certain keywords which you cannot deviate. And you are studying your entire school education, again, of course, at different levels, so that it makes smooth transitions. When you are a kid, you enter in a nursery school, then you come to the primary school, then middle school, then slowly you enter into matriculation or higher secondary, then secondary education, then you go to higher secondary. At each level, the transition is very smooth. Then at the end of the school education program, you become so matured that you have specialized in a group of subjects or in a group of disciplines, either mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, or commerce, mathematics, statistics, so on and so forth. So this is the way the school education has been very strictly structured to strictly follow in a very narrow path, so you cannot deviate from that. And in the examination also, so you will be tested periodically. It has been divided into 3 terms. You will have quarterly examination, half-yearly examination, and the final examination. But unfortunately, when you finishes your school education, only the final examination decides your career, not the examination scores what you had earned in your quarterly examination or half-yearly examination. Even though you had continuously performed well, only the final examination marks are going to decide your career. That is an unfortunate thing in the school education, because your continuous learning does not contribute. The continuous learning, scoring through continuous learning does not contribute much to decide your career. And finally, when you complete the examination, your performance is marked through marks or grades in different things, because you have different boards. We have state board, we have matriculation board, we have central boards, we have international boards, so on and so forth. Each one follows a different pattern. But of course, mostly it is only marks and grades. So that has been assigned to evaluate your performance in the examinations. But when you come very close to the end of your school education, you started dreaming. You started dreaming about your future. You started dreaming about your college education or higher education, because you had been educated by your seniors or your friends that, okay, come out of school education. When you come to the college education, you will be a free bird. It is completely free, lot of freedom, lot of flexibility. You can do whatever you like. So that is the kind of thought process that would go along in your mind when you are very close to your school education. So you had dreamt a lot to see that freedom, to see that flexibility, to enjoy that freedom, to enjoy that flexibility when you enter into college for your study. So you come with an expectation to this institution with a feeling that, okay, now I will be a free bird. I have a lot of freedom to learn whatever I want. I have a lot of I will have a lot of flexibility to choose my own teacher or my own topics. So that is a kind of dream with which you have entered into the higher education, or I would say college education or university education, wherein you are going to be exposed. Then what is the scenario? Whether your dream is correct, whatever you had was correct, whatever you had the ambition and desire was correct? Yes, of course. The higher education is completely different from college education. Even though it is structured and it is working under a certain framework, but it is highly flexible. It is highly flexible. You'll have a lot of freedom to study whatever you like. Again, like your school education, we have different levels. First, when you enter the college, you enter for a study program at the undergraduate level, a 3-year study program. And then if you want to be an academics, you go to the next level of education, postgraduate studies. Or you can get out of the institution of study and you can get an employment and you will become a good employee in reputed institution. And if your ambition is to become academics, still even after completing your postgraduate study, you can still go ahead and you can do research and you can get a doctoral degree, the highest degree. Then you can enter into academics. So when in the collegiate education or in the higher education or in university education, there are at least 3 major levels: undergraduate, postgraduate, and research levels. So if you want to get an employment or if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can exit from the undergraduate level or from the postgraduate level. If you want to become an academics, either you can preliminarily exit out of post-graduation, or you can go further to do your research. You can get a PhD degree and you can enter into academics in the line of either teaching or research. So this is the kind of scenario that higher education or university education or college education will offer. So like the different boards wherein you had studied your school education, in the case of collegiate education or higher education, the institution what you study is affiliated to a state university, affiliated to a university which was monitored by the government, the state government. So the university to which you have been affiliated is again a local phenomena. In the geographical location or a region where this college is located, the university will be identified. And of course, there are two different institutions. One is the affiliated institution to the university. Of course, there is another kind of affiliated institution to the university. There are two different kinds of colleges affiliated to the university. One is the college which is completely governed by the university. The university dictates everything. They provide the curriculum which has to be taught. They conduct examinations and they declare results. Everything is by the university. There is another set there. The flexibility and freedom is limited, unlike the second set of colleges. The second set of colleges is known as autonomous colleges. In the entire country, nearly 10% of the colleges, among the 40,000 colleges, nearly 10% of the colleges have been awarded autonomy. Autonomy in two aspects. One is they can formulate their own curriculum for their students to study. They can prescribe their own textbooks. They can prescribe their own reference books. They can prepare their own course content. They can offer their own courses. The only thing is the degree will be awarded by the university with the college name mentioned. And also at the examination. So within the boundary, the college can decide its own examination pattern, the structure of the marks to be awarded. So all those things the autonomous colleges can do. So I would say that you are so lucky that you have joined in an autonomous institution or autonomous college. Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College is an autonomous college which gives you a lot of freedom in the learning. And there is another difference between school education and college education. The school education system is an annual pattern. It is run under an annual pattern. Your final examination will be once in an academic year. On the other hand, the college education or the higher education is different. It has 2 semesters. The one academic year is divided into 2, and you will be writing the final examinations 2 times. There will be 3 to 4 months of study, and at the end of that study, you will be writing the examinations and you will be getting marks, everything. And then in the second half of the academic year also, you will be studying and you will be writing the examinations. So instead of having one academic year to evaluate your performance, now it is 1 semester or 2 semesters in an academic year. That is again a major difference. So which makes you to learn continuously. For writing the final examination in the school, you have to wait for 1 year. You can make your study slow because it will come only after 1 year. On the other hand, when you come to higher education, so it is fast in the sense that you have to study, you have to write your final examination once in 6 months. The reason is now you are so matured, your mind is matured, you are slowly inching towards the pattern of self-made, self-studying pattern. You can understand things in a better way compared to your when you were in the school. So that is why we are trying, the higher education is trying to evaluate you quite often. Then another basic difference I was mentioning is very important. In the school education, I mentioned that only your final examination matters. Your marks in the quarterly or half-yearly examinations will not decide your final career. On the other hand, in the case of higher education, we follow the semester pattern, which will have both continuous internal assessment as well as the end semester examination. Your continuous performance may bear 40% of your destiny. So 40% of your score will constitute through the continuous assessment made by the course teachers regularly. And there is a structured framework for that. They may conduct you test, they may conduct a quiz, they may conduct some group discussion, and they may make you to sit and talk in a debate. They may give you assignment, they may give you a case study, they may ask you to give a seminar. Through all these different parameters, they may ask you to do a small project. So they will try to evaluate you and they will put you some mark. That will carry 40% of the marks, what is going to be awarded at the end of the semester. Only for the remaining 60 marks, you have to score from the end semester examination. So this is a major difference between school education examination pattern and the college education examination pattern. So even though you have flexibility and freedom, because of this semester pattern, so you should have the habit of learning regularly so that you will be evaluated in a better way continuously by your course teacher. So this continuous evaluation by the course teacher about yourself will make a real better bond between you and the teacher or course teacher. And also there will be mentors to guide you, so in all aspects, so that you will perform better. So semester pattern is one major difference from school education. The other one is once you choose a group in +1, for instance, then you cannot deviate from that. You have to study only those core subjects till the end of +2. But now here, every semester you have a lot of flexibility and freedom to choose your own topics. If you look at the curriculum, so it will have 5 different parts. You will be studying some languages, and you will be studying some core courses. You will be studying courses to support your core courses. And apart from that, we will give a lot of electives depending on your interest. You may be interested in a specific technique like Internet of Things or artificial intelligence. You may have interest on that. Or you may have interest in specific tax or specific laws in common stream or specific type of accounts or very specific range, which will be leading you or which will be giving you an opportunity to fix your career. So you can choose your electives so that your career can be fixed according to your wish. Of course, these courses given in the electives will be supported by the core courses and allied courses, which will give you the fundamental understanding. Of course, when you choose these electives based on your passion and interest, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can choose a set of courses which will provide you opportunity to learn the entrepreneurship skills. If you want to get a good employment, you learn courses accordingly. If you want to go for higher studies after your undergraduate program, then again you can choose that particular elective track and you can study the elective courses so that you will be able to go to a good institution for your higher studies. So whatever you like, whatever is your passion, whatever is your interest, that will be met through your program through the structure of the program of your study under the choice-based credit system. It is not a mark system again, like your school education. It is a credit system. If you study a course for 180 days in a semester, then you will be given 4 credits, the normal courses. So that is the kind of credits. And at the end of the undergraduate programs, totally you have to accumulate 140 credits at the end of the day. Once you finish this 140 credits, you are given a degree of undergraduation. And we don't stop at that point. We can also have a lot of other things. You can earn additional courses and you can earn extra credits. That also will be added to you. Of course, that is more than sufficient. And we don't strictly follow or strictly fix your mind to the curriculum, what is prescribed for you alone. You can even go out of that curriculum and you can learn. You can learn through open source. There are a lot of MOOC courses, NPTEL courses and other things. You can learn some of the courses. You can pass those examinations and you can get a credit and we will accept that credit and it will be included in your passbook. Or it will be credited to your regular credits so that you can skip some of the courses here. So it is a complete flexibility in learning too. You can either learn from classroom or you can learn through open source and you can borrow those credits and you can include that. And also when it is coming to teaching, not only teachers alone teach, because when you come to higher education, it cannot be very rigid. Because the curriculum, what higher education is having, a lot of different components. So one is this knowledge or information that is embedded in the curriculum. The second one is a lot of skill sets which is needed for becoming a good employee in a reputed a company or corporate, and also skills that is needed for becoming entrepreneur to start a business. So all these different knowledge skill and entrepreneurship skills will be there inside the curriculum. So this is another kind of a thing. So what is advantages in collegiate education or higher education? Therefore, we do not always depend on the teachers alone. We always invite the industry people from industries, wherein these skills are practiced very well for their business or for their employment. So we invite those industrial experts and we make them as professors for you, and they will also teach to you. So it will be a partnership between industry and the institution or the college, so that your learning process will be completely different through experiential learning. So it don't stop at that point just by inviting an industrial expert and teaching you. We don't stop at that point. We take you to industries. And you will have a lot of experience in learning there. Whatever you learned in the classroom, you will experience in the industry. Whatever you experienced in the industry, you will learn again in the classroom. So this is the kind of arrangement we have, what you call internship. So your regular study also contains internship or doing some field project in the industries, and also visiting the industries regularly, so that you can have a better understanding of things. So industry, we don't always mean a factory or no. If you study commerce, you'll have a lot of firms which are some auditor firms. So many firms are some taxation system, banks. So those are all your industries. So that will make you to spend some time, some days there, 20-25 days there, to have a full-fledged experience in the topic what you studied here, and so that your experience of learning will be complete. Because when it comes to choice-based credit system, the learner-centric education is the primary part of it, or the core of choice-based credit system is learner-centric education. The teaching pedagogies will be completely learner-centric or student-centric. So in a classroom, teacher is not the hero or heroine. In a classroom, the student is the hero or heroine. So the student has to learn. The student has to do things through the activities, and the students have to experience things, and that is the way. So we normally do. So I mean, people used to say that when we experience certain things, we learn them very fast. Albert Einstein and Abdul Kalam, our former president, so used to define education is a mere experience. So when you experience, you will definitely learn out of it. And Albert Einstein goes one step further, and he defines it such a way that education is not giving some information. Education is not getting some knowledge alone. Education is to make the students to think. Education is to give a training to make the students to think. So the teachers in higher education will definitely make you to think critically and very crucially. So that is how the higher education will move forward. So the choice-based credit system, what we have, by offering you credits instead of marks and giving a lot of flexibility and learning outside, not only within the framework of curriculum, but also in industries. In addition, you can have open source learning, and we also will give you certain important special training on specific domains. For instance, if you are in the commerce stream, our curriculum will be very closely related to a lot of international curriculum, not only in commerce stream. In all this stream, our curriculum, what we have defined in the institution, is on par with the international curriculum in universities in the Western countries. And apart from that, we give opportunities for the students to have an association with a lot of professional bodies. Like, for instance, for commerce students, if you are studying a commerce program with professional accounting, we attach you to the Indian chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, and you will have opportunity to get training there. Similarly, cost and management account, if you study another commerce program, company secretaryship, so on and so forth. So we always make you professional before you leave this institution. So that is the idea of the institutions. And also to make you very successful, we also expose you a lot of international certification programs on very specific emerging skills of this century, of the emerging trend. So we not only offer you soft skills or people skills to make your personality more, we also offer you highly important technical skills and professional skills. Also, the curriculum what you study through your elective track, so we'll have both knowledge, skills as well as professionalism, so that you become a holistic person when you are ready for an employment. And we can not only conduct bridge course at the point to collect education and college education, we also make a bridge between your final year college. So that's where you want to properly skills, both soft, technical, and professional in nature, which are of local as the internal character. You can click to a project when you enter for employment institution. For undergraduate curriculum is mainly implement curriculum because most of the students who come for undergraduate program, as per majority of the students, they opt for employment. So our curriculum in these disciplines are always employment driven curriculum. So it's a semester pattern, choice-based credit system. Then one more important thing which is recently introduced is the outcome-based education. We do not just give you something and try to learn it and you try to reproduce something. That is not the way we offer you education. We first make a benchmark of achievements or attainments what you have to do at the end of the course or at the end of the program. So based on that benchmark or based on the goals we set, so we are making it to make the journey. So that at the end of the day, you would have achieved those objectives or outcomes what you have fixed, what we have fixed for you. So for every course, we fix a set of expected outcomes. So the student is expected to complete it at the end of the course, and we are making an attainment calculation on that, whether you have attained that level to fulfill that outcome expectation. If it is not met, then we'll try to analyze the reasons and we'll give you the remedy. Both for the teacher and the students will give the remedy so that the attainment will be better. This is for individual courses or individual courses, I mean always the subjects. Then for each program also we have set objectives or outcomes. So we'll expect that when you finish your undergraduation, you have met all these outcomes so that you become a holistic person. Or when you come out, you become a very, complete person in terms of knowledge, skill, and professionalism. And even we don't leave you, even after you leave the institution after your undergraduate study, we follow you and we try to check your sustainability, whether you are able to sustain there wherever you are in any employment or any business, whatever it is. We try to check it through the program educational objectives. We fix that in the beginning also, and we evaluate you at least as incubation for the first 3 or 4 years. So we have fixed all these outcomes, and based on that, finally we formulate a set of attributes for a graduate who get graduation out of Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science, and we try to verify all these things so that your learning will be a holistic one, and we'll try to prepare you as a globally competent graduate at the end of the day. But don't think that you will be specifically studying only into the discipline where you have been admitted. For instance, if you are admitted to a commerce with computer applications program, don't think that you will be studying only that. We give you a lot of opportunities because we always offer in the institution a T education. We make you a T student. So T has two, it's like a ladder, one horizontal rod and one vertical rod. The horizontal one mentions you will have a broad education. You will have opportunity to learn across all disciplines. If you study commerce, you will have an opportunity to learn computer studies also. You will have an opportunity to learn English literature also. So that we call as a broad education. And also this vertical rod or vertical line mentions that in the discipline which you have chosen, for instance, commerce with computer applications, you will be having a very deep knowledge in the chosen subject and very broad knowledge in all the other disciplines, across the disciplines. So for that, we have different structures or different levels. One is the concept of school where similar departments will be combined or similar programs will be combined. You'll have opportunity to learn from one program to another program within your school or within the cluster. For instance, if it is computer studies, you'll have different programs, computer science, which will focus mostly on theory, computer applications, which will be focusing mostly on applications. You have information technology and computer technology, which will be focusing mostly on networks, but still a student studying computer science, mostly theory, will have an opportunity to learn some courses in networking, in applications, etc. So there are certain courses which will be common for all of you, and there are many courses which is specific to that discipline. Apart from that, even if you study a computer studies course program, you can go to English literature and take a course there. And in addition to the value addition, what we give regularly to all of you. So a lot of freedom, lot of flexibility. If you are a good learner, if you want to learn a lot of things to build a better career, always it will be a boon to you. And also we should feel proud that in the very recent time, we have prepared a very effective curriculum based on a very emerging topic, what is called design thinking. Design thinking is an approach which now a lot of international business houses are following, wherein first you go to the customers, you know their opinion, know their requirement, then you design your business. So that is how it is followed. The same way, when we designed the curriculum for you, which we are going to offer from this year, you will be the first batch to follow that. We have formulated your curriculum based on this design thinking approach. Then where did we go? We went to the industries. We went to top industries, and we referred all international curriculum of top class universities in the United States, in the Europe, and in Australia. And after doing that, and also after interacting with the academic experts, and by looking at the job prospects of the scope of the program, we formulated the curriculum. So looking at the industries, looking at the international curricula, and looking at the job prospects available when we study this course or this program, we formulated the curriculum, and which has been validated by international experts. So the curriculum, what you are going to study from this year, which has been based on the needs, based on the requirement, since your need is an employment. So we designed that curriculum by referring all international curricula and by referring all multinational companies for their products and expectation in terms of skills formulated. So this is a wonderful curriculum for you, and we also promise that we like to deliver this wonderful world-class curriculum in a very effective way, so that your learning performance will be very high. Even we may try to identify your learning pattern. Each student may have different learning pattern. We'll try to identify your learning ability and learning pattern. Then we'll try to optimize that for defining appropriate teaching pedagogy, so that your understanding will be better through this curriculum. And also in the examination, we are also always advanced. So there's a concept of what is called Bloom's taxonomy. So Bloom is the name of a person who introduced this concept. He divided the education into 6 levels. The concept of education or examination or teaching or the curriculum, everything into 6 levels. For the undergraduate programs, normally any institution follows the first 3 levels. So they are remembering, that is, we are giving information which you are supposed to remember. Then the next step is the understand. You have to convert that information into knowledge. Then finally you should be able to apply. Of course, these are the 3 levels which normally done. Information is there, converted into knowledge. Then it is converted into application, either in the form of a problem solving or in the form of doing a small project, etc. So that is the way the examination and evaluation are also conducted in the institution. So I should firmly say that studying alone is not life in the college. There is one window. There is yet another window, the entertainment or campus life. So there are so many ways to do that. You may have a lot of talents. The departments or your class advisor or your mentor will first try to identify your talent. Your talent will be first identified and it will be nurtured and nourished so that you gain a lot of importance for developing your talent. Ultimately, you perform and achieve. So that will be the aim of the institution. So whether it is sports or it is some co-curricular activities related to the curriculum by presenting a paper in a seminar or conference or workshops, or if it is an extracurricular activities by participating in a club or in craft, arts, fine arts, culturals, dance, music, sports, whatever it is. In all these things, we give a lot of opportunities by identifying your talent. So don't hesitate to come out of your, come and expose your talent when opportunities and platforms are given. Each department will have appropriate association. It is purely the platform of the students. You can plan, you can perform, and you can showcase your talents for all other students in that. So this kind of thing will give a lot of experience for you by showcasing your talent, and it will also be an entertainment for the student community. That is again part of the campus life. Then of course, whatever you gain, you should have social responsibility. So we should be able to give it to the society. So we will have these extension activities by going to the society, and whatever we had learned, we may be a privileged set of people. So we should be able to take it to the society so that ultimately the society is also, getting benefit out of it. So you have a lot of opportunities for that. You can be a member of this National Service Scheme or Youth Red Cross or Red Ribbon Club, or you can be part of Eco Club, or you can be part of Health and Hygiene Club, you can be part of disaster management. So many opportunities are there for doing this outreach programs and social relevant extension program in the society, either in the neighborhood or in other areas outside the college, and even within the campus for the benefit of campus community. So this is another kind of opportunity that are available. So in the collegiate education, I would finally say that ultimately you should become a holistic person. You should become a globally competent person through the flexible educational opportunity what you have in the campus, number one. Number two, you should have an enjoyable campus life by making use of all the opportunities and all the facilities that are available in the campus, by bringing out all your talents, by performing through all your talents, by developing all your talents through the training, either it is sports or culturals or craft or painting or dance, music, anything, or service to the society. You should be able to, nurture your talent so that at the end of the day, you will become a very respectable citizen of the country. So that is again our expectation. So you can expect all sort of things from us. So we are here to, give you everything you want, because the institution is because of the students. You are the main stakeholders of the institution. The aim of the institution or the ultimate goal of the institution is to make you happy, make you satisfied, make you to have a satisfied learning, and make you to have an enjoyable campus life throughout your period of study in the campus. Ultimately, you should step out of the institution as a globally competent citizen, nationally responsible citizen. And when you are studying here, you should feel proud that you are an SNSian. You should feel proud that you have got an opportunity to learn your undergraduate study program at the Dr. S.N.S. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. And what would you expect from you? We don't leave you as soon as you get out of this institution. We again pull you into our institution as a notable or distinguished alumnus. So all the passed out students are our alumni. They are again in our family, in the SNS family. So they form another stakeholder of the SNS family. So they are also very important. So the alumni, even though you pass out of the institution, it is expected that you continuously have network with the institution, with the teachers, with the administration, as well as with the students who are studying after you left. So this kind of network or connectivity is very important. It is maintained in the institution very well. So we respect the alumni very well, and we expect the alumni to contribute a lot of things in the sense that they can give a lot of training to these students who are studying through their experience in the employment what they have, and if they are in higher studies, they can also tell a lot of things, and they can also make the students who are studying with a lot of exposure for next level promotion or next level progression. So all these things we will expect from you even out of the campus after you finish your program. But when you study here, you should feel proud of SNS. But after you leave this institution, we SNS should feel proud of you. So we expect you to be in a very respectable position after you leave this institution, so that your career is very bright and you become a very distinguished person in the society. So with these words and my thought, so I would like to conclude my talk, and I wish you all to have a great period of learning for the 3-year program or even 5-year program or 8-year program if you continue. And the days in the campus should be a very enjoyable one for you. You try to enjoy the campus life very much. Try to enjoy your learning very much. Try to grab all the opportunities that are available in the campus. Whatever facilities we are providing, so you always enjoy it and try to use that. And we always try to get your feedback. Your feedback is more valuable for us. You can give the feedback about the academics or about other facilities or about other opportunities. You are most welcome to tell us, and we'll be happy to fulfill all your desires, all your career desires and life solutions. We are your personal. I mean, we are people who personally care you because you are part of our family. So with these few words, I wish you good luck and to have a great years of learning at SNS in the days to come. I eagerly await the days to meet in person, all of you, and to have very good chat in the classroom when there's an opportunity. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. As the title goes, the essence of collegiate education in present day context, the various flavors of college education are mixed in right proportion and served deliciously to the freshers. Thank you so much for the remarkable and brimming speech, sir. Thank you, sir. Be good to you. So let me propose the vote of thanks for this session.
Okay.
My heartfelt thanks to the members of the management, COE sir, principal sir, vice principals, heads, faculty members and students for making this occasion a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much for the remarkable speech again, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Shall we wind up, sir?
Yes, sure.
Thank you, one and all.